This is about writing riffs, specifically writing riffs. What you usually find are people talking about, oh yeah, they'll show you how to do a power chord and they'll show you a pentatonic scale, but they don't really show you how to write a damn good metal riff. The problem is there is no science to it. There is no one right way to write a riff. So it's all about your creativity. It's all about what you hear. It's all about finding that groove, that essence, that meanness that you find in yourself through the music. Maybe that's looking a little deep into it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some little things that I found out that I know that I use whenever I'm writing riffs or I'm trying to come up with stuff. Okay, first off, fuck around on your instrument. Act like pretend you don't even know what you're doing. And maybe you don't know what you're doing, but that's okay. Just make noise and see what you find in it. So instead of just talking, I'm just gonna improvise a little bit. Here we go. I don't have a clue what I'm about to do, but I'm just gonna find something to go with it. I'm in standard tuning. I'm probably gonna play a lot on the open string, and I'll quit talking, and here we go. So, in all that I just played, never played a single note of it before in my life, in that manner anyways. What I did is I just fucked around, and I've recorded every bit of it. I'm recording this right now. I could have a hit song in that. Of course it sounds a little bit like shit as it is, but this is how I write a riff. So, there's first. Number one, step one, fuck around and improvise. Sometimes I just know I want a really beefy chug, just a gnarly sounding riff. And sometimes it comes in just the form of doing that power chord. Power chord, so your E power chord. And you want to just chug that, sure. Yeah, we got the power chord there. But sometimes you have a little gnarly sound if you just go one half step down and you play this, diminished chord or whatever they're called. But instead of that too, you also bring that down. So it sounds like this. From your open string and then on the first fret and both your A and your D string. And if you just hit those and chug them, it's got a weird sound to it. And that chug works really well if you're just doing like some crazy, whatever. Whatever. Some other things that I know I do when I'm playing is I like to throw in certain types of harmonic scales. Harmonic minor scales in my playing. So if you're playing just a chug riff, or you're just kind of doing even like a regular classic rock type riff, throwing in a tiny lick that resembles like a harmonic scale, and also taking that harmonic scale and then shifting it chromatically maybe one way or the other just to get some different sound effects. Like in my playing, I'm getting a little bit off track, but in my playing, if I'm doing like a regular, say I'm doing like, so I'll throw in a lick, something like that. certain patterns of notes and relationships between notes that you can use that will sound heavy, that will sound evil, if you want to say that. One of the most classic ones of that is the open to 6th fret or diminished chord. So, you know. So yeah, of course, like. Obviously. Another one is just the simple root note and 1/2 step up or 1/2 step down, and just varying in between those. So your reference note could be on the, say, the 8th fret, you know. You're playing your power chord there. And say you just want to chug on that root note, and you can either go up or down or use both and use a tiny chromatic step to sound evil too. So, you know, can sound evil. Then you can throw in the other note if you want. There's your diminished chord again. Another thing you can do, relationships between notes, is this sort of step. Reference note, you do a 1/2 step up, like that. Then you go 1 step up, and then 1/2 step up again. So it's kind of like if you were to say start on an open string, it'd be 0 or open, 1, 3, and 4. The relationship between those notes have a certain air or a certain essence to them that you can definitely use that can sound evil. So you can see what I'm getting at. Those notes. Fairly simple. Next thing you can do, 2 other notes, or 4 other notes that have a really good relationship to one another. Say if you started with the open note, it'd be this relationship. Open, 1st fret, 4th fret, and then 5th fret. And that's more closely part of the harmonic, starting out a harmonic minor scale. So if you look at starting with E harmonic minor or whatever this scale is, the first one I showed you was these notes in relation to one another. Still in the same scale as. Another thing I like to do, we're trying to write riffs, is I like to tune down to drop D. It's just a simple drop down. It allows you to make those power chords with only 1 finger, but it also allows you to do some unique things. Like I like to riff kind of like chromatically. If you were to like. Whatever. So you can do stuff like that. It allows you to do those diminished chords, the reference, but I mean the relationship between a root note and a diminished, you know, whatever the chord name is. Allows you to make that switch really easy. There are certain techniques of riffs where you can play a lot on the open string, where you can take the open string and then play individual notes up here differently, and how you can make melodies like that. So this is very common in like metalcore type music. They'll do something like. So you can see what I did there if you're paying attention. You can also, I mean, not only was I using the open string to chug, is while I was picking these individual notes up here, but I was also using the harmonic minor scale. So if you look at here, and then I'm just using my own rhythmic techniques in between to palm mute the open string and use those notes from the harmonic scale. So I don't know what I played because it was improvised, but it's something like this, you know.